Good afternoon, friends. It's Tuesday, November 3rd. Welcome to my reflection during this election week. I hope all of you have voted, or you're about to vote sometime before the polls close this evening. I'm waiting to see the results later in the week, hence election week. Not sure we'll know tonight what's been accomplished. Also, here's some other good news. My creative juices are returning. I know this because over the weekend, I got back to work on Alex and Joan's projects. As I sketched up the plans and made some notes about the process for the building of those plans. Also, I started working on the final bookcase of a series that I've been building for a couple of months now. It feels good to have those creative juices flowing again. I also got an opportunity to brainstorm a few reflection ideas yesterday for this week, and let's see how that works out. Now, those of you who know me know that it's important for me to remember names and to recognize people. I love being outside of church on Sunday mornings, greeting people as they come in with their name and asking a few important questions, more than just simply, how are you? I also know that this is a gift from God, and that not everybody gets the same gifts. I, for example, never got in the line that said music when I was receiving gifts from God. I know that other people didn't get in the line that said name recognition when they were waiting for gifts from God. It's just part of life, and that's okay. I also believe that using names and addressing people is important. So I'm not surprised when people tell me how impressed and grateful they are that I remembered them. It's just part of my gift, if you will. On the flip side, since I'm aware that not everybody got in line for that gift from God, I'm never disappointed when I have to introduce myself to someone repeatedly. It happens from time to time. I may have worked on a project with somebody within the synod, and then months later we see each other at something like a synod assembly, and I have to reintroduce my name, or they have to read it off my name badge. It doesn't bother me. My face may be familiar, but sometimes that name just simply escapes people, not having the gift from God. Well, and then I want to share with you something that happened to me. Joan and I have decided that there is a particular pizza restaurant in town that is our favorites. We semi-regularly order pizza from them. I can't tell you how often that happens, but it does. And the meal is more of a treat than a standard in our menu selection. I generally get the order, put it on my app because it gives me loyalty points, and so therefore I'm the one who places the order and goes and gets it. Since March, we've probably ordered more often than before. That means maybe 3 or 4 times in these 9 months, 7 months, 8 months, whatever the months it's been. And usually it's the same process when I show up to get the pizza. I give them my name and the pizza that I've ordered, and they go and they search the boxes, and then they come back and they give it to me. The last time I went, however, things were a little different. Now, the counter was just as crowded, and so I waited somewhat patiently in line, 6 feet from the person in front of me. The young woman behind the counter was racing around to get the orders and the food out. Then all of a sudden, she says, "Mr. Wilsey, your pizza is ready." Mr. Wilsey? I was caught off guard. Is my dad here to collect his pizza? Did he order something? No one calls me Mr. Wilsey. A nanosecond later, I realized she was calling me. Now, she'd never asked what I had ordered, but had my Hawaiian pizza ready. I thanked her for recognizing me and pronouncing my name correctly. That's another skill. And she said, "Sir, you are welcome. I believe it's important to recognize customers and use their proper names." Well, now I've been called Mr. and Sir by the same person. I must be old. But I was impressed by the way she greeted me, and others, I noticed, this way. Impressed even more because this was only the second time she had served me. Pretty good. Now the pace at the pizza place was slowing down. There was nobody else to serve, and so we had a chance to have a short conversation. I asked her if there was a device that she used to remember names and faces. She said, yes, there is. Would you be willing to share it with me? I asked her. Absolutely, she replied. It's God. God has given me this gift of remembering names and faces, and since God has given it to me, I'd better use it. Cool, I thought. Then there was a momentary hesitation as she wondered if she had offended me. Are you okay with that? She asked. I smiled and said, yes, absolutely. I have that gift as well, so I understand it. I have that gift from God. She encouraged me to have a good evening, and I said I certainly would now, and added blessings to you as you live out your gifts. A little bit later that same evening, Novak and I were out for our walk. As we approached the park, a couple with their dog was walking toward us. They stopped. They stopped at the intersection where the sidewalks split. They stopped at the spot where Novak consistently stops to check his pee mail and to leave messages for other dogs. Richard and Chris wanted to check in with me. We have had a couple of conversations over the summer, but now this was the first time they initiated a conversation. Since they said they hadn't seen Joan in a few weeks, they asked if she was okay, or was she sick? When I explained what Joan had been doing since September, they were really excited. Chris commented she wished that other grandparents were able to be so supportive of her students. And Richard offered that he knew some of his students who could do with an adopted grandmother if Joan was available earlier in the week. I chuckled, saying that no, she and I had our hands full with our two, and we were going to stay just that way. Since then, we have seen each other Wednesdays through Fridays. I've been asked how the kindergarten class is going. Is Campbell doing okay? What's the good about his experience and what's the bad about experience? I've learned a great deal about the downside of distant learning from a teacher perspective, and how he, as an upper level teacher, has seen some of his students be able to abuse and take advantage of the situation. Now, I reflect on those encounters as God moments. The unexpected interactions that I have with other people. I have programmed myself to no longer assume that I am on the same religious path as others are. I make no assumptions at all. I don't want to impose my belief structure on others, since it has in the past caused roadblocks to be thrown up. I simply want to be present, if you will, in those moments. I try to enter every encounter with an open mind, while also looking for clues about how a conversation might go deeper, how it might be a God moment, if you will. With the counter person, it was obvious from her words. With Richard and Chris, it has always been more subtle. Their collective response when I told them that Joan was okay was, oh, thank God. Now, I know that's a standard response, or is a standard phrase used, but their words also gave me more indication of their connections. They were concerned about Joan's health. I also suspected they were concerned about my health, mental more than physical perhaps, and they worried if they worried I was having to take care of Joan being sick. So now I wonder about you. How do you encounter these unexpected moments? Do you see them as God moments? I'm willing to bet and believe that there are more of them than you might think and imagine. So the next time you have one of those weird moments, those ahas, think of them as a God moment. And where might God be leading you in that conversation? Might God be leading you to realize that you and the other person share a gift? Or might you just simply be encountering a moment with another person who is equally secretive about their faith and life as well? It used to be in the ancient days that when Christians met each other, one started to make the sign of the fish in the dirt, and the other one, a Christian, finished the fish. I think we should do the same kind of things. We maybe wait for somebody else to say something before we respond. Creative juices are flowing, and I kind of like it. I look forward to seeing you on Sunday, as I always do. I was excited on Sunday as I watched the dancers in our parking lot around the little circle and walk by the door. Didn't realize how emotionally responsive I would be to that moment. Look forward to seeing you. And in the meantime, please, please, please wash your hands a couple times a day, 20 seconds at a time. Use hand lotion afterwards to keep them nice and soft. Wear your mask when you go out in public. Wear your mask when you go to vote later today if you haven't already. Wear your mask. Have I said it enough times? Keep that physical distance between you and others whom you don't know. But with your family and close community, get as close as you can. Hug one another, love one another, because that's really important. We show love for one another. If you're sick, please, please, please stay home. Take care of yourself. And as Sergeant Esterhaus dismisses me and you today with those words, be careful out there.